Hey Rangers, today we've got another video for you, and this is the Figma range of Iowa from the KanColle collection. I've got to admit, I think I like this one quite a bit, so let's have a look. First of all, you've got this huge window display here. You can see the figure, the two faces, and her guns, and then you can see it's 330 Iowa, you've got that. On that side, you've got like a really cute version of her kind of sticking out her tongue. On the back, you've got loads of different poses, and even I really think this Battleship is kind of cool that you can combine them together. The different faces there. On that side, you've got her face again. There, it says, oh, you got her face again, and the same one. Now, this is quite a long box, so I'm hoping you're getting quite a lot inside. So let's open this bad girl up and have a look inside. So what do you get with Iowa? You get the figure itself, you get an assortment of hands, her two different faces, this absolute beast right here, which is a Battleship. You get an extra peg, you get the part where this will attach to here so it can move up and down. You also get the stand, you also get an attachment for the actual stand itself. Here's Iowa, and I've got to admit, this whole model stands out, and the biggest thing you're always drawn to straight away is the radar hat. The radar hat's kind of cool. I really like it. I don't know if this is for like little ships to fly off, or if it is, if it is actually a radar. I really love her hair. One thing I really do love about this figure is her eyes. Her eyes have got stars in them, so I'm guessing it's something to kind of relate to the character. But I really also love her gold hair, or blonde hair. I think it just really stands out in the way that it's shaped. It's not boring like I've seen previously with some of the other figures. But also, we notice that she has got a large bust, and again, this does kind of really stand out. I do like her collar, and also I do like the clothes around it. So when we move down the figure, we see that there's some more detail. We see that there is a 61 right there. We've got her kind of golden belt, which when you look up, is actually quite embedded as well. That's really cool. I really like that. Then obviously you've got the white, the gold, more kind of grey. You've got blue, you've got white, and you've got a little bit of red down here. The kind of like the cuffs, they stand out quite well. And when we look at the figure later on, I'm hoping that they're actually attached to her arms rather than they come off like some of the other ones that we've seen. One thing I'm a bit like about is this joint here for elbow. I'm not a huge fan of it. It looks kind of weird. And it's a slightly different color than the other, than the arm itself. But I also kind of like the suspenders that she's got on, and then when you look at her stomach, you can see that when it's coming down from her bust downwards, you see that there's lines, so it's been actually sculpted properly. And then again, you've got the part where it attaches her big Battleship at the back, which we're going to see. Dear God, it's actually my favourite part so far. But let's have a look at the next part. As we move down to her legs, I really like this red. To me, it looks like pink in this light, but obviously it's red. I really like the white, and on this side, I love the blue and white as well. I really like her boots because it kind of looks like they were made for to support, even though they're kind of stilettos. But when you actually look at it, it looks kind of cool, and the colors work really well. The kind of grey and the blue, both sides are exactly the same. And again, she looks like she's wearing high heels with this one. Pretty much all of them look like they're wearing high heels. So obviously it looks really cool. And then here, I love the kind of like the joint here, the kind of the ball. It kind of stands out, but it kind of reminds me of like a pearl, which is kind of fun, I think. Now, when we look at the back of the legs, again, there's not much detail. You see here and here it's like kind of ruffles, like if it was made of leather, so it looks like it's been worn. Up here on this leg, it looks fine with the ball joint because it kind of matches in with this white line. But on this one, it kind of doesn't, and it kind of stands out, which I'm not a huge fan of. But still, it looks kind of cool. I just kind of wish they kind of painted it. Again, we see the top of the suspenders holding on to the actual stockings or kind of giant socks. And as we move up, we can see that there's the hole for the kind of arsenal that she got, the kind of cannons. We can see here that the arms are exactly the same. The back of the miniskirt is blue and white. And here, if you move the figure forward, we see that there is another hole for the actual stand. Now the hair looks like it's on another ball joint, so you can move it up. It's not combined, so it's not one flat piece, so it looks kind of cool that you can actually adjust it. If we look at the side, we can see that there's some parts for where you can take the front of the hair off to put the different faces, and on the side it looks like we've got the kind of like the antennas just coming out to the side. If we look at the top of the helmet or the hat, You can see this is probably an exhaust point, or maybe missiles come out of here, or maybe just steam. But I really like it. They've really gone into it. Even when you look down here, I thought there was actually some blackness down there, but it's not. So like all the other figures, we do kind of a stress test and see what it's like. So the feet kind of rotate a little bit, not much. Be careful not to put too much pressure on this, because it does feel like it could snap. So it feels like you have to really move the ball around to actually get the boots on. So they can't actually move that well, which I'm a bit gutted about, but you can move them up and down. Up and down like that. This one's a little bit more freer than this one on this figure. Then you got the knee joints. So do it like that. Now the legs move around move around like that. Now one thing it says in the instructions is if you need to give them more space, you can pull these up or you can push it up. So as you can hear. So push it up. Apparently when you bring them down like that, apparently it's meant to give it more kind of freedom for the legs to do that. But if we just push them back up, absolutely fine. So if you look at the skirt here, I hate to say it, but you can see more that they've not actually just like stopped off here. So it looks like it's continued on, which is kind of cool. So the arms move around like so, hands move around, just like that. So when you move the figure around as well, so just like that. So the figure moves around backwards and forwards. And the hair, now I don't know if it moves all the way around. If we drop the hand, oh it does. So the hair, it can move all the way around if you want it to, like that. Forward, back, forward, back. Now when you pull it back, the hair is kind of restricting it here, but if we look here, I think we can move the hair. So yeah, so you can move the hair out if you want to, just like that. You can twist it. This one's more twistier than the other one. Is twistier even a word? But that one's more kind of flexible and kind of it works better. So yeah, there we go. So like every other figure, we have a look at the hair. Now I'm just being careful because I don't want to damage the kind of the top part. So it's just pulling the hair out ever so gently. Now as you know, I'm a huge fan of Winky faces, and this kind of really gives it a kind of like a different look, a different feel to it, and I kind of really like that. I think that's absolutely really cool. So let's have a look at the other one. I think that's my favourite face so far. And that one is not too bad. It kind of does give another bit of life to the figure as well, something completely different. Also one thing I have noticed, and I don't know if you can, if you ever look at your Figma figures, anyone, it actually says in the face like 1, and then this will be like a 2, so this is face 3, so I kind of really like that. I only found that out today. But yeah, I really like that face a lot more. I think that one works well with this figure. So since collecting KanColle, like the ships and parts get bigger and bigger, and this, oh my god, I think so far from the Figma range, this is the biggest one I've seen so far. But I really like the fact that these cannons can move. But the thing is, like, unlike the kind of the other ones that we've seen recently on the channel, like some of them don't move, which I think is kind of like a shame. Even I think when I was looking at the instructions, like these can move. Alright, no, so it looks like these can move, but to be honest, I don't want to test it. I don't want to think, oh yeah, it can move, and then all of a sudden they break. But you can move them about, which to me just gives extra like kind of brownie points because they've gone like to the extreme on this one. But just doing that one, it'd be cool if like you push that and so I think even like, no, these don't move, but oh no, they don't even turn around. Okay, not really particularly bothered on that one. They don't move either. I really want to try them, but I know it'll go snap. But when we look at it, just the detail along here, do these move? Nope, not going to try that one. But I love the blue, I love the grey. When we turn it over, it's exactly the same. That's red. Red there, and again, like look at the detail on that one. So it joins up to the figure with this one, it goes in the lower one. And then does it have something? Nope, so obviously when it attaches to the figure, the stand will go completely different. I thought it would attach, and then attach to it so it kind of separates, but it's all one piece and it looks absolutely goddamn fantastic. Okay, so one thing I've noticed with this is when I was looking over the instructions, normally with Figma you get like these extra little part here, like, oh, this is just a knee joint, but this also goes in here where I've just taken that out. So I'm guessing that if you want to let's try and put it in there. Now I'm guessing that if you want it to move up and down, you can do. One thing I really don't like about the holes in Figma, hitting the camera, is that when trying to attach this to there, the hole is completely different shape towards this is. So you kind of think of like when in manufacturing, you'd be like, well, gonna change all the holes to a circular one rather than like a hexagonal one. That's not the word, hexagonal one anyway. So I wonder why they never do it. This one fits in quite well, because obviously it's been in there for a long time. So this should attach here, which then would mean that the thing will be able to move up and down just like so. I think that's really cool. So we're going to try and attach it and see what happens. Right, so after a lot of kind of playing around and figuring out little things about this figure, when combined like this looks awesome. Oh god, it's just the way that this all combines. The only problem I had with her was when combining the stand to the ship, effectively, the behemoth that it is, I found it was a little bit difficult to kind of pose. I know this figure is not going to stand on its own without the stand because it's too top heavy, but when you combine it, oh, it looks so cool. I really am liking this. And one thing I did find is that these move, so you can have them out like that. You can't move them up, which is a shame. But if you're going to spread them out, make sure the stand can take them, because obviously too much weight, you'll topple over. But when you combine this, dear God, it looks really, really cool. And there she is, Rangers. There is Iowa, and oh my God, she is my favorite one so far. Just because I love what they've done with this. This Battleship is absolutely fantastic. I really love her cheeky smile and the kind of like she's sticking her tongue out. It is just possibly one of the best Figma figures that I've seen for a long time. And we've got so many more to go through. We've got so many more to review. But I really like this. The only downside that I've kind of picked up on this is when attaching the kind of stand to the back. Originally, I thought that it had to go around this or above this to kind of make it like fit. So I was playing around with the back for a while. I had to use a hairdryer in the end just to get the kind of like the peg in the back of the figure, which was a bit of a pain to be honest, but it kind of worked well and it's kind of like molded around it so I can adjust it much later on if I need to. With the cannons and stuff, it was really cool. I really like what they've done with it. I like the way that they can move, and because she's more of a powerful battleship, I just think this works really, really well. I can't wait to see what else like they're going to bring out. If they're going to bring out bigger ones like with the giant these, oh, it's just so cool. I'm so looking forward to it. But yeah, so far this has got to be one of my favorite Figma figures from the KanColle range. So Rangers, what did you think about this? Did you like it? Did you not? What are your thoughts on the figure? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Let me know down below in the comments below. And if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the other videos on the channel. If you want to help support the channel on Patreon, link is in the description down below. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.